Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now in today's video, we're going to check out Huawei's latest smartwatch to enter the Malaysian market, and that is the HUAWEI Watch GT3 Pro that is powered by HarmonyOS. Now this watch is going for RM1399 and I've been using it for the past 1 week, but think of this as sort of a first look, first impressions, hands-on kind of video rather than a full review because I do have a couple of points that I want to share with you first, but I'm still testing out the watch itself. So without further ado, let's just jump into the video right away. Now inside the box, it actually came with the pretty standard stuff. Of course, you do have the watch itself and you also get that USB charger. Now the charger is a magnetic one, so it's very easy to attach, and the magnet is actually quite strong here, so you do not have to worry about it falling off when you place it to charge at night. Alright, so that's just in terms of the charger. Let's take a look at the watch right now. And my version here is actually the one that came in the leather straps. And at the front here, if you just take a look at the design, you won't find a very groundbreaking new design. But what you see here is very iterative from the previous Watch GT2 Pro. At the front, you still get that sapphire glass, and it's actually very scratch proof. I do have a knife here, and let's say if you just keep scratching on it, I don't think anything will happen at all. Obviously, it's a very hard material, so you'll need something stronger than just a typical pen knife here to get scratches on the device itself. On the sides here, notice that we have a very nice case here, and this is actually made of titanium. It's a 46.6mm case to be very precise. At the top here, you do have one button that actually rotates, and you can see that we can rotate it very nicely here. It's very responsive, and I do notice that it came with haptic feedback whenever I'm just rotating the crown, so I love that. Apart from that, at the bottom here, you'll find that you have another shortcut key which takes you directly into the activities menu. So right here away, you can see all the kinds of activities that you can jump into with just one click of the button. Now on the left side, everything is very clean and clear, nothing to see around there. And at the back, you do have a couple of sensors that tracks, your SpO2s, your heart rate and all that. Pretty standard stuff. Alright, so just in terms of the weight, I did check it out over here, and I'm just going to show it to you very quickly so you know how heavy it weighs. Now this watch is approximately 65 grams over there, so it's slightly hefty, I would say, for someone like myself who is quite skinny. But anyways, that's just that. Moving down, let's talk a little bit about the straps. Now we do have these leather straps, and I said I've been using it for almost a week now. I'm just going to show you up close the amount of worn that it has gotten over the past few days. So this is how it looks. I like the fact that it has these very nice threads going on the sides that makes it feel very classy. And if you flip the straps to the back, you'll notice that this is a 22mm width kind of straps, and you do have that latches at the back that makes it very easy to swap out, for other straps that you just want to prefer. Other than that, I must say that the straps here are very soft and comfortable, and never had any issues wearing the watch at all. Alright, so let's move on to the software and see how it works and all that. Now if you drag down from the top, this is where you get into a couple of quick shortcuts. You have your settings, your do not disturb, your alarm, drain, very basic stuff. I'm going to hit the screen on for now because we want that screen to stay on. Apart from that, if you drag up from the bottom, this is where you get into the notifications. And what I like about the notifications here is that you notice that we have these very tiny icons, which is great because you know what kind of app it is coming from. And if you look closely, we do have the number count there as well. So for instance, I have 5 messages over here, so I'm just going to tap into that and check out the messages. So this is the first one right here. If I just scroll down, you'll notice that this is the second message that I have. Very cool to see that we have all these messages directly in the watch, and of course it's great to see like the notification count number, because then you will know how many messages you have. So that's just in terms of the notifications. Now if you swipe towards the right from the left, this is where you get your quick access into your voice assistant. You also have your weather, and of course you have the music control widget. Very cool. Now if you drag towards the left here, this is where you get into your widget cards. So for instance, the first card that I have here is actually my heart rate. The second one here that I have is my SpO2. If you keep going on, this is my activity rings. You have your weather, you have the, I'm not sure what this is. The next one here is my sleep. So I did not track my sleep last night, and I should point out something here. The watch itself is quite hefty for myself, so I prefer not to wear a watch at night when I go to sleep. But when I did check the sleep tracker, I noticed that it was very accurate, and it was able to calculate my amount of time sleeping in the bed very accurately. So I love that about the sleep tracking. It's just that this watch is a little bit too hefty, too big for me to wear throughout the night. So yeah, this is something that I should point out, and that's pretty much what you get in terms of the widget cards. Alright, so just going back to the main menu again here, this is where you see we have a very nice watch face. We do have a couple of pre-installed faces already in the watch itself. I'm just going to scroll through so you can see a couple of those designs, but of course you can find more in the app itself. Now, one thing about these watch faces is, the apps, the watch faces itself has to be purchased. For instance, I bought this for I think about like 7 ringgit, which is approximately $1 plus, sorry, about $2 maybe. But yeah, some of these has to be purchased, so be prepared to spend a little bit if you want to change a lot of your watch faces. Anyway, I went with this one here, the main one here, and the reason for that is because if you take a look closely here, you notice that we have these very tiny icons at the front, and I like it because it's very interactive. For instance, I can just tap into it to enter different menus. This is the heart rate, so it's a very interactive watch face, and I found it very useful that I can access all these quick apps directly on the front itself. Now, the good news here also is that this watch face is actually customizable. For instance, if I just click that setting key right there, I can go into this and I can choose what button I want to be actually showing at the front. For instance, I'm going to choose skin temperature, and there you see it has already changed into the skin temperature. So very nice, quick shortcuts, all accessible directly on the watch face. Alright, so let's go and check out what else we have in the watch itself. Alright, so you just click the main menu button here, for instance, you get into this list of icons. Now, the first one is all about those workouts, which I'll talk a bit more later. If you go down, you have this lactate threshold. Now, this is really for those hardcore athletes. I'll put a link down below so you can find out more information about that. It's quite scientific, so I don't think I'm the right person to actually explain about that. Now, moving down, you have your heart rate monitoring, which I already showed you very quickly just now. If you just drag down here, you see that you have more information throughout the entire watch, so that's great. If you go back, this is my SpO2. Yes, you can have your all-day SpO2 as well. Nothing much to see here. Moving down, we have the skin temperatures as well. Now, I noticed that the skin temperature kind of varies from hour to hour, so I'm not sure how accurate that is or how useful it is to me. I personally have the temperature gun, so I know whether I'm having a fever or anything like that. Now, healthy living is a very interesting one here because you have to set your goal of how you want to be, living healthier through the app itself. So for me personally, my goal here was to reduce my blood pressure. So I've already set this up. It requires me to get up at a certain time, measure my blood pressure, do some breathing exercises and all that. But everyone's healthy living goals is different. So what you see on the watch here is different as well. But again, you have to set this up in the app itself to get all the instructions on what to do. Right, so moving down, we have my activity records. Yep, I think it's very plain here because I just woke up not too long ago, and of course nothing is really running yet. But if I scroll down, this is more information that I can see. I can also see how many steps I've taken over the past week. Bear in mind that these are actually very low. It's not because I'm not walking at all, it's because sometimes I just don't wear the watch. Now, moving down, this is where you see how active you are throughout the entire multiple hours throughout the day. This is just a lot of information here, so I like it because you can actually see all this information on the watch itself without having to use the app. So that's great. Alright, moving down, we have your sleep. Like I said, I did not track my last night's sleep, but I did track one of those sleeps. I'll show you a quick screenshot on the side. Now, moving down, you also have your stress tracking. Again, very, very basic stuff here. You have seen that in many smartwatches today. You also have your breathing exercises, your call log. Yep, this watch here, the good news here is that it is a sort of like a Bluetooth earpiece, so you can answer your phone calls directly on the watch itself. And let's say your phone isn't beside you, just click answer and there is a mic on board here so you can answer your phone calls. Apart from that, you have your contacts as well. You can sync that with your phone. Again, very, very straightforward. Music wise, you can put a couple of songs in here as well to just play music directly using the speakers here. I don't really use that because I always have my earphones in my ears, but you can also connect your earbuds, your Bluetooth earbuds to the watch itself so you can play music directly there. Very nice. Apart from that, you have your barometer, your compass, your notifications, your weather, your wallet, stopwatch. All these are very self-explanatory, so I won't go into all that. Alright, so now the final thing we're going to check out here is actually in terms of the activities. Again, I'm just going to go through here. You start off with having a couple of courses and plans. There's a lot of running courses here, so if you're really into running, you can actually go into that and check out like which course you actually want. So you see we have like 13 over here, and you have different kinds of, just all kinds of running plans here. I think this is great for you if you just want to start, getting better at your run. So awesome stuff there. Now, if you just go back, you also have your training plans. Now, training plans has to be set in the app itself. Again, this is based on your own customized kind of plan, so won't talk too much about that. In terms of the activities being tracked, Huawei says it tracks 100 plus different activities. But right off the bat, you have your standard outdoor runs, your indoor runs, outdoor walking, cycling, swimming. In fact, you have diving here as well. According to Huawei, this watch allows you to track your dives and all that. It has an IP68 rating, so it should be able to go about about, I think, 30 meters deep for your diving. Apart from that, you have your jump rope, mountain hiking, your trail run, skiing, and you can also find more activities, through the app itself. So this is what I can say in terms of the activities in the watch. Mostly everything that you want to have, you have it covered in the GT3 Pro. Now, one thing I noticed here is that in terms of the GPS, it took me about 15 seconds to get connected to GPS. This speed is actually not to say very fast or all that. I think it's quite standard these days for about 15 minutes to get connected to GPS. I did a quick run. Actually, I'm going to show you the results very soon on your screens as well, and I noticed that it was tracking my distance and everything very accurately. So again, pretty happy with the GPS with the watch itself. Apart from that, when you're running, you are able to see a lot of information directly on the watch itself. You can also choose to keep the watch face on at all times throughout your runs or your sports activities, and I think that is great as well for the Watch GT3 Pro. Now, the final thing I want to talk about here actually is in terms of the battery life. Now, Huawei claims that you can get to 14 days on normal use and 8 days on intensive use. Well, to be frank, I've been using it pretty normally, but I wasn't able to hit anything close to 14 days. Now, I would say that the more logical amount of days that you can have on one single charge is probably about 4 to 5 days. If you receive your standard notifications, you run about once or twice a day. So 4 to 5 days is more realistic here on the Huawei Watch GT3 Pro. Alright guys, I think that's it for this very quick first impressions with the Huawei Watch GT3 Pro. Again, like I said, I'll be testing this out further and I'll probably drop a full review further down a couple more weeks later. But yeah, first impressions are feeling positive with this guy here, and let me know what you guys think about this watch. Of course, let me know what you want me to test out in the comment section down below as well. And thank you guys for staying to the end. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel, and I hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Bye!